You know, we all think we have a pretty good handle on what things cost. But what if I told you the price tag is just the beginning? That it's actually the least important part of the equation. Today, we're diving into the true cost of everything. And trust me, it's a lot higher than you think.
So let's start with a simple question. How much does a television cost? Seriously, just picture it. You're walking into a store today to buy a nice new TV. What's the number that pops into your head? Go ahead, think of one.
You probably landed somewhere around here, right? Maybe $400, $450, $500 for a pretty good smart TV. Seems reasonable. It's a straightforward one-and-done payment. But what if that number, that sticker price, is actually a massive distraction? What if the real cost isn't what you pay at the register, but something you pay day after day after day?
Okay, so let's first look at that price on the tag. This is the cost we all understand. It's the one we see, the one we plan for. But it's also the one that hides the much, much bigger expense.
So this whole idea really comes from this incredible insight by the philosopher Jim Rohn. He tells this story where a guy proudly says his TV cost him $450, and Rohn's response was brilliant. He knew this guy wasn't just a TV owner, he was a TV watcher. And that right there is the game-changing difference.
And making that one little distinction, it leads to a conclusion that is, well, it's pretty staggering. It takes us from a few $100 to a number that honestly sounds made up.
So if that $450 was just the cover charge to get in the door, what on earth did Rohn think the real ongoing cost of that television actually was?
$12,000. Yeah. And look, that's not for some fancy wall-sized home theater system. That's $12,000 a year just to watch the thing. I know. How in the world is that even possible? It sounds completely nuts, but it makes perfect logical sense once you stop thinking about the cost and money and start thinking about it in something way, way more valuable. And here's the secret. It all comes down to separating the act of owning the TV from the act of watching the TV. One of those things is cheap. The other one is unbelievably expensive. Here's how Rohn broke it down. The cost to own it, that's just a simple financial transaction. But the cost to watch it, that's a life transaction. You see, you're not spending dollars, you're spending hours. His math was pretty simple. If you make, say, $25 an hour and you watch TV for 4 hours every single day, that's $100 of potential you just burned through. $100 you could have been earning or learning or building something. Do that every day for a year, that's over 36 grand. So Rohn's $12,000 figure was actually a pretty conservative guess at all that lost potential. And what he's talking about is a fundamental idea in economics called opportunity cost. It's super simple, but it's profound. It means that for everything you say yes to, you are by default saying no to literally everything else you could have been doing in that moment. You say yes to 3 hours of Netflix, you're saying no to reading that book, to starting that side hustle, to learning a new skill, or just talking with your family.
And that is the absolute heart of it. Your time is a currency. It's your most valuable one. Every hour you spend watching that TV is an hour you can't invest anywhere else. Not in your health, not in your career, not in your relationships. Rohn wasn't just being dramatic with that $12,000 number. He was doing the cold, hard math on the future value of our time.
So, as you can probably guess, this is way bigger than just talking about televisions. This whole way of thinking applies to absolutely anything that eats up your time. Which brings us to the real question here. What are your true costs?
What's that thing in your life, you know the one, that habit, that little distraction, that thing that feels harmless in the moment but is secretly costing you a fortune and lost opportunity?
Maybe it's the 2 hours a day that just sort of vanish into the endless scroll of a social media feed. Or maybe it's putting off that big important project for just one more day, which then turns into a week, then a month. These are the things that are our modern $12,000 televisions. They're the silent thieves of our most valuable asset.
You know, it's funny. We stress out so much about the cost of a car or a house, things with these huge, obvious price tags. But we barely even notice the cost of our bad habits and our wasted time as they stack up day after day. The biggest takeaway from all of this is that the most expensive things in your life are almost never the ones you can buy in a store.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. The moment you stop just looking at the sticker price and you start calculating the opportunity cost, your entire perspective changes. This isn't about never relaxing or watching a show again. Not at all. It's about being intentional. It's about asking yourself, before you spend your time, what is this really costing me?